Hi there, this is Danielle Dunlop. Today I'm sharing a center picture window card that I made with the Fawn die set that helps you create these cards. And I used the new pool party stamp set from Fawn, the Sunray background stencil that is new this summer, and I used the older Slimline Hillside border stencil and the wave stencil, the ocean wave stencils. So I die cut all the pieces from the center picture window card, and I did that with white cardstock, and I like to color all the pieces myself instead of using colored cardstock. So I started with Slimline Hillside borders with brushed corduroy distress oxide inks, and I did that for the outside and the inside of the card to create my beach. And now I'm using my ocean wave stencil to create the ocean, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm creating it all over the inside of the card and on the outside. For my ocean colors, I use Distress Oxide Tumbled Glass and Salty Ocean. And as always, I'm adding some splatters to create some extra dimension. For the beach, I used ground espresso, and for the ocean splatters, I used prize ribbon. The last part of the stenciling is adding some sun rays, and I'm using the new Sunray background stencil. And I tilted the stencil a little bit so it is covering the entire inside of my card so I don't have any awkward lines in there. And for the front and the back of the stencil, I'm using the rays straight down because you're not going to see the front and the back at the same time, and it changes things up a little bit. Now I'm starting to work on the picture window part, and I wanted that to line up entirely with the inside of the card. So I'm creating a beach, an ocean, and some sun rays as well. For the beach and the ocean, it didn't really matter if it was exactly lined up with everything. I did make sure that the sun rays were entirely lining up. So I put the part on the background that I already had, made sure that the rays are lining up, and then I started to stencil the rays. Now it is time to build up the card. This is an ocean wave border that I made for another card but didn't end up using it. So I'm making some score lines on it. It turned out a little too big anyway. I made a little mistake measuring or imagining how it was going to turn out. I don't make these center picture window cards too often, so it's a bit of a puzzle every time I do make one. But I end up fixing it. So I'm having my score lines here, and I'm putting double-sided tape on all these end pieces. And I'm starting to add the window part on only one side. I find it easier to put all the pieces in place this way and to measure how everything is going to turn out. So this is just the window part that is attached on one end. And then I'm going to put the border, the wave border in. And that's where I'm starting to realize that it might be a little too big. I didn't trim any pieces off. It was only affecting how I was going to attach it to the card. The result is, though, once you have your card finished and you open the card, that the wave is coming forward pretty far compared to when your strip is shorter. Now I'm going to add my sentiments first. I'm stamping just floating by to say happy birthday. This is on the inside of the card. And then I'm going to stamp the word hello on the front. So it's going to be a whole scene starting at the front of the card and following on the inside of the card. Now it's time to add all the cute little images to my card. I cut some palm trees from the tropical backdrop die. I have one tree on the front, and I also die cut these out of white cardstock and I colored them with my Copics. So I'm having one tree here on the front, and the leaves are going to stick out a little bit, but I will trim those off later on once the card is finished. Then also for the front, I have this super cute unicorn that's going to lay on his beach towel. So I'm adding him to the towel, and he's going to end up sleeping on the beach in the shade of the palm tree. And to finish this scene on the front of the card, I'm adding a beach ball. And first I wanted to put it on the left side, but then I decided that the unicorn is using it as a head pillow, so it's going to be under his head. And I'm going to add a set of flip-flops. Now that the front of the card is done, I'm going to attach the left side of the waves and of the window part. This is where I realized that the wave was still too big actually. So I had to peel that left side off and attach the window part first with that strip, so that the wave can actually fit right into that little nook. It was a tight fit, but it ended up fitting. Now, as you can see, when you open and close the card, you see that that wave is pretty close to the actual picture window, which is fine because I actually like that you can see the stenciling behind it pretty well. But maybe I would do a shorter strip for a border next time. So I'm adding some more palm trees on the inside. I have a larger one and a smaller one that go on the left. I had to trim off some of the tree because it was a little too tall, this one. For this tree, the leaves will be overhanging as well. But again, I will trim those off later on once the card is finished. Now I'm going to add this smaller tree here right next to the big one. And next I have the super adorable llama. I think he's so cute. He's going to be on a beach towel as well. And he will be laying on the sand on the center picture window part of the card. And then my next element is going to be the sloth. And the sloth is going to be floating around on the little tube on the ocean in the moving part of the window. Now I have a couple more beach balls left and pairs of flip-flops. That's gonna finish up the card. So I will have a beach ball and a pair of flip-flops on the left by the palm trees. And then I'm going to place one beach ball on the center picture window part and one pair of flip-flops right next to the happy birthday sentiment. Now I'm going to trim off these excess pieces of the palm trees so that it will all fit in a small envelope that I have specifically for these cards. And this is my finished card. It's a bit of a puzzle every time I make one, but the end result is always so super cute. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.